What's going on, guys? Appreciate you stopping by as always. So, wake up on Wednesday morning to the news that the president believes that the ceasefire with Iran is essentially over. The United States struck somewhere around 80 targets in the last 24 hours, and that's in response to a Iranian attack on, my understanding is, multiple targets, including container ships. Not sure what they're claiming the reason to be. I don't dive too much into the weeds when it comes to these specific situations, and largely I do not, because number one, who do you believe? You just don't know what is the truth and what's not. And number two, and this could be frustrating for some people to hear, but it just doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what the specific truth is from an everyday average Joe perspective, Joe citizen and Jan citizen, because there's nothing we can do about it. So if we think logically and use a little bit of common sense, we could probably anticipate that this reprieve that we've had for fuel prices that have dropped quite a bit, especially in some areas, and just depending upon your location, but they've dropped quite a bit, that's going to reverse now. And it certainly provides an excuse for those that control the pricing to maybe even take it to an all-time high. And I say that because the amount of uncertainty regarding the whole situation is probably even higher now than previously. Because, even when it looks like an agreement is reached, the military conflict is over, gas prices are dropping, well, as probably could have been predicted, it's not over, and things are returning back to its volatile state. So frustrating for sure for Americans across the country to hear, especially those that are struggling and just trying to make ends meet, trying to live their life, and now looking at if gas goes up $1 and another $40 a week or whatever the amount is that it's going to cost them, and their wages haven't gone up, then, it's more expenses. Obviously, people need to act accordingly. And what do you do when, you've got fuel prices going up again? Well, you got to look at everything else and make adjustments, even though, food also continues to, at this point, I would say, trickle up for the most part. You just got to make adjustments, or you can go out there and make more money. And I thought about doing a video on secondary streams of income at some point. We'll see, because I've done a lot of that over the years, and as well, I'm sure many of you have. Something happens and you need to get money from somewhere and earn some extra money. I know there's a few of us out there that have done terrible things for a Klondike bar. That's a joke, by the way. If you remember the old ads about what you would do for a Klondike bar. Anyways, so that's a bit of news for today. There's so much going on, as you're aware. There's just so much uncertainty in the world today. And one thing you can do is just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep living your life. Keep moving forward. Keep prioritizing what gets your attention. I've seen quite a few comments recently that points to social media as a really a negative influence on society, and I agree with that 100%. So much of the division that is in the United States, and I live in the United States. I'm going to speak mostly about the United States, but there's so much division, so much drama, so much mental health care issues that we have, I believe, is directly tied to social media. And there's a lot of things that are considered social media. YouTube is considered social media, or it could be looked at as entertainment, whatever. It's owned by Google. Facebook's the obvious. I can't stand Facebook. Am I on it? Yes. And why am I on it? That's mostly because I want to use Facebook Marketplace. And I try to use any platform I'm on, I try to use to my advantage. Even if I disagree with some of the things that they're doing, I try to utilize it for my benefit. But I totally understand people that have taken a stand, and there's a lot of people out there that have taken a stand and refuse to use it at all. I do my best to make the best decisions I can for myself, and utilizing Facebook Marketplace because I sell things on there, as well as I can find some really good deals. And places like Craigslist have just gotten so out of hand with just BS that I haven't been on Craigslist. It's been years. I wish there was an alternative to Facebook Marketplace. I'm not aware of one. If you know one, please share it. I'd love to check it out. But I started this video off talking about the military actions that were taking place over in the Middle East, and suddenly I'm talking about Facebook Marketplace. But they are connected at least in one small way, and as I connected them, is basically talking about living your life and being on a budget. So I've got a couple other things I'm hoping to come up with soon. I was talking to my much better half, Maine Prepper Girl, and we are going to do some videos coming up of budget-friendly meals. And yes, I'll be in the kitchen preparing. I'm not going to go step by step, but I'll give recipes, and I'll show the ingredients, and then I'll show the final product, and probably show it, cooking along the way. It should be cool. There's a few, what I call it, prepper meals, survival meals, preparedness meals that are inexpensive, very budget friendly, fairly nutritious, some of them more than others, but very easy on the wallet. And I think it was Utah Mike, frequent commenter here. Appreciate it, by the way. Several of you have been commenting quite a bit. I really appreciate it. I'd like to call everybody out by name. Maybe I'll do that at some point. But he was talking about that him and his wife was having a meal, and it was like $4. And if I remember right, it was pork loin, some vegetables, zucchini, stuff like that. And I was talking to Maine Prepper Girl. I actually read that comment, and she was in agreement because, when you're on a budget, you go get a pork loin, and depending upon you and yours, how many people you got, but let's just say you got 2 people, you could easily make 2 meals out of 1 pork loin, but you could probably stretch it to 3 if you grow some zucchinis. But again, zucchini is somewhere around $1.50 a pound, $1.30 a pound. You could go get a couple of those for a pound. And the pork loin, by the way, up here I typically see them somewhere just south of $8 for a pork loin. And some places will put them on sale. You get a can of corn for 79 cents or something. Yeah, you absolutely could put a meal together for 2 people for $4. So anyways, appreciate you sharing that. But yeah, I want to do some recipes like that coming up. So anyways, all this discussion because people are shooting at each other over in the Middle East. And yeah, not even sure why at this point, but again, there's nothing we can do about it. That's the real world that we're living in. And I thought I would share this. You wake up to hearing some news like that and confirmation, because I heard about it yesterday, but we got confirmation, and you need to act accordingly. So over the last couple weeks, I used up a couple of my metal gas cans I put in my truck in an effort to rotate, but I haven't filled them back up yet. I'm probably going to go do that. I should have done it already, but I'm going to go get those filled up probably tonight after I get home. So, by the way, anybody that's from Maine, you should get some very good clues on where I'm driving right now with some of the signs. And if you're in this area, you absolutely are probably familiar. Absolutely, probably. That's real good. That's real good, Jake. Anyways, you might be familiar with the area. So, all right, I'm just blabbing now. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Comment below on anything that I talked about. If you got some recipes, meal ideas, comment below. Any thoughts on the most recent military action and what's going to happen in the future? Would love to hear what you think. And that's it. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hit that like button. Consider subscribing. Click that notification bell so you know when we upload new content. And you guys stay safe. Take care. We'll see you next time.
So I ran from the cities and the noise and lies, found a piece of ground under open skies, hands in the dirt, sweat on my shirt, learning what living's really worth. While crooked men shake hands in rooms, selling souls to corporate suits. Society's sick, but I found the cure. A back road life, honest and pure. They can keep their throne and their golden news. This life out here's my modern exodus. I traded screens for a sunrise, callous palms, blisters, pride, planted seeds where hope was.